You still believe danger is something you avoid. That staying harmless keeps you safe. That being a good guy protects you. 2026 will correct that delusion with violence. Danger is no longer optional. It is the new survival currency. The world is accelerating into raw selection. Economies collapsing, loyalties evaporating, power concentrating into fewer and fewer hands. In this arena, the harmless are not left alone. They are harvested quietly, efficiently, without mercy. Your current frame is a death sentence disguised as virtue. You were taught that safety is moral, that being approachable is strength, that keeping the peace is wisdom. Every institution reinforced this lie. Schools, media, workplaces, even your own family. They needed you safe, compliant, predictable, a manageable unit, a reliable consumer, a disposable soldier. This frame must be shattered tonight. True danger is not rage or loud threats. It is the quiet, calculated certainty that you are willing to do what others won't. It is the absence of hesitation when your sovereignty is tested. It is the cold knowledge that your peace is non-negotiable and will be defended at any cost. Shift the lens now. See yourself not as a man trying to be better, but as a loaded weapon that has been deliberately kept unloaded for decades. Every time you swallowed your words, softened your boundaries, laughed at disrespect, apologized when you were right, you handed someone else the bullets. 2026 removes the safety. The people who remain harmless will be used, discarded, or erased. The ones who become dangerous will decide who gets used. Look at your life through this new frame. Every relationship is a power test. Every opportunity is a battlefield. Every habit is a self-inflicted wound. The harmless man walks into 2026, hoping things get better. The dangerous man walks in knowing he will make them submit. This is not motivation. This is recalibration. Your old identity, polite, understanding, conflict avoidant, is not a personality. It is a survival strategy from a world that no longer exists. Keep it and you become obsolete by March. The new frame is simple and brutal: harmlessness per prey, danger pact sovereignty. Internalize it until it feels like instinct. Because in 2026, instinct is all that will separate the hunters from the hunted. The lens has shifted. You now see clearly. Your harmlessness is not natural. It is installed. 3 wires run through your nervous system, deliberately engineered to keep you safe, compliant, and eternally forgettable. Guilt, people-pleasing, fear of consequences. These are not emotions. They are control mechanisms. And in 2026, they will either be your weapons or your executioners. First wire, guilt. This is the oldest and deepest implant. Every time you even consider putting yourself first, guilt fires instantly. That's selfish, Tor. What will they think? You're being too harsh. The society injected this early. School, church, family, media, all singing the same hymn. Your needs are secondary. Your boundaries are selfish. Your strength is dangerous. Guilt does not protect others. It protects the system from you. It turns your natural aggression into shame before it can ever become power. Second wire, people-pleasing. This is the behavioral leash. You soften your voice, dilute your words, laugh at insults, over-explain your decisions, and say, "No problem," when it is very much a problem. Why? Because your brain was trained to believe that being liked equals being safe. In reality, being liked is the fastest way to become irrelevant. The most dangerous men in history were never universally liked. They were respected, feared, or both. People-pleasing is voluntary disarmament disguised as kindness. Third wire, fear of consequences. This is the final lock. The moment you consider a bold, dangerous move, this wire activates. What if I lose my job? What if they leave? What if people turn against me? This fear was cultivated perfectly. A harmless man is terrified of rocking the boat. A dangerous man knows the boat was never his to begin with, so he is willing to sink it and build a warship from the wreckage. These 3 wires meet in your amygdala and create the perfect harmless man. Guilt stops the thought. People-pleasing stops the words. Fear of consequences stops the action. Result, you remain predictable, controllable, harvestable. The truly dangerous man does not remove these wires. He reverses their polarity and turns them into weapons. He uses guilt as a scalpel against himself. The only thing he feels guilty about now is remaining harmless. He uses people-pleasing as a tactical mask. He appears agreeable until the exact moment he strikes. He uses fear of consequences as fuel. Every potential loss becomes a reason to become more dangerous, not less. Most men sense these wires and panic. They try to heal them, work through them, become more balanced. That is suicide in 2026. The dangerous man does not heal the programming, he hijacks it. Tonight, feel the wires. When guilt rises, ask, am I protecting them, or am I protecting my own weakness? When the urge to please appears, ask, am I being liked, or am I being used? When fear of consequences hits, ask, what will happen if I stay harmless? The mechanism is exposed. It is pulsing. It is vulnerable. Grasp the blade. You already carry one of two archetypes inside you. One is harmless. The other is dangerous. The harmless man moves through the world like a ghost that nobody fears. His shoulders stay slightly rounded. His voice carries a question mark at the end of every statement. He smiles when he's angry. He says, no worries, when he's boiling. He over-explains, over-apologizes, and over-accommodates. He broadcasts safety in every gesture, soft eye contact, open palms, gentle tone. People like him. People use him. People forget him the moment he leaves the room. The dangerous man is the opposite. He does not announce his presence. He occupies it. His posture is economical, almost predatory. No wasted movements, no nervous laughs, no filler words. When he speaks, sentences land like blades. Short, precise, final. His silence is heavier than most men's words. His eyes do not dart for approval. They measure. He does not seek to be liked. He seeks to be remembered and avoided when necessary. Between these two extremes lie the dangerous hybrids. Men who feel the predator stirring, but still wear the harmless mask. They set boundaries but then apologize for them. They walk away but then text, you good. They feel the rage but dilute it into passive jokes. These men are unstable, unpredictable, and in 2026 they will be broken first, because they are neither safe enough to be ignored nor dangerous enough to be respected. Study that tells in real time. The harmless man answers quickly, explains everything, and leaves room for pushback. The dangerous man answers slowly, says less, and leaves no room at all. The harmless man avoids eye contact during tension. The dangerous man holds it until the other looks away. The harmless man laughs to ease discomfort. The dangerous man stays silent and lets discomfort do the work. The harmless man fears being seen as too much. The dangerous man fears being seen as weak. You are reading this because part of you already knows which archetype currently controls your nervous system. The knowledge feels heavy because it is accurate. Most men will spend the rest of 2026 oscillating between harmless behaviors and brief, ashamed flashes of danger, then immediately punish themselves for the flash. They call it being too intense, going too far, losing control. That self-punishment is the final lock keeping the harmless archetype alive. The 9 forbidden codes exist to starve the harmless man and feed the dangerous one until the old archetype dies of neglect. Right now your body is speaking. Tension in the jaw, heat behind the eyes, a quiet nausea when you imagine actually living as the dangerous version. That nausea is not conscience. It is the harmless identity realizing it has been marked for execution. Pay attention to which feeling grows louder as you continue. Harmlessness has never been a virtue. It has always been a death sentence dressed in polite clothing. History does not remember the nice, the safe, or the approachable. It remembers the dangerous. Look at Caesar Borgia, son of a pope, master of calculated terror. He did not beg for power. He took it with poison, betrayal, and public executions that made entire cities kneel before he even arrived. His enemies didn't fight him. They surrendered the moment they understood he had no line he wouldn't cross. While others played politics, Borgia played war. He became so dangerous that even Machiavelli studied him like scripture. The harmless men around him, they became footnotes or corpses. Look at Vlad the Impaler. When the Ottoman Empire sent 20,000 men to crush him, he didn't negotiate. He impaled 20,000 of them along the road and left them rotting as a welcome sign. The next army turned around before the first corpse came into view. One man became more dangerous than an empire because he removed the concept of limits. The civilized rulers who condemned him, they paid tribute and stayed alive. Danger won. Harmlessness paid taxes. Closer to our time. Look at the silent predators of the last century. Men like Howard Hughes or Aristotle Onassis. They didn't ask permission to dominate industries or women or nations. They moved like shadows, ruined competitors without raising their voice, and built empires while others were still writing polite emails. They understood one truth: in any power vacuum, the dangerous man does not fill it, he becomes it. Human nature has not evolved. The same wiring that made a 15th century prince impale armies still runs in every man reading this in 2026. Modern society simply wrapped it in sedation. HR policies, cancel culture, therapy speak, be kind slogans, social credit systems. All of it exists to keep the dangerous man asleep and the harmless man profitable. But the sedation is cracking. In 2026, the masks are coming off. AI surveillance will expose every weakness in real time. Economic fractures will turn polite society into raw resource wars. Loyalties will evaporate overnight. When that happens, the harmless man doesn't get protected. He gets consumed. The dangerous man doesn't get punished. He gets obeyed. The threat is no longer theoretical. Your colleague is already quietly positioning himself to replace you while smiling to your face. Your partner is testing how much disrespect you will tolerate before branching. The friend who borrows from you is already calculating how little he needs to return. The algorithm is already ranking you as low threat per high exploitation value. They are not evil. They are simply operating at a higher level of danger than you. History is merciless on this point. The statues are never raised for the man who was liked. They are raised for the man who was feared, and feared so deeply that fear itself became respect. Most people secretly crave to follow the dangerous man once he proves himself. They will moralize against him only while he is still rising. The moment he stands on top, they rewrite history and call it destiny. You are surrounded by people who will cheer your danger the second it produces results, and crucify you if you hesitate. That is not hypocrisy. That is selection. The 9 forbidden codes are not philosophy. They are the operating system that has kept dangerous men on top for thousands of years. Ignore them and you become another forgotten harmless man who meant well. Harmlessness is no longer a choice. It is a luxury the year 2026 will no longer afford. The analysis is finished. The threat is mapped. The archetypes are exposed. Now only execution remains. The 9 forbidden codes are not concepts to admire. They are immediate behavioral overrides you install tonight by repeatedly violating everything the harmless man inside you still believes. Each code is a direct strike against your old programming. Perform them cold. Perform them without explanation. Perform them without apology. Code 1. Weaponize silence. Never explain, justify, or soften your decisions again. The moment someone demands reasons, you go silent. Let the vacuum do the damage. Most will fill it with apologies or concessions. Silence is not absence. It is the most dangerous sound a man can make. Code 2. Charge for your presence. Stop giving your time, energy, or attention for free. Every interaction must now extract value. Status, information, leverage, or submission. If nothing is gained, you withdraw immediately. Your presence is currency. Make them pay or make them miss it. Code 3. Strike first without warning. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or for them to deserve it. Bot. The instant you sense disrespect, drain, or threat, you escalate first and harder than expected. Ghost. Demote. Expose. Terminate. Do not match their level. Destroy the pattern so it never repeats. Code 4. Burn every bridge you don't need. Actively hunt and destroy any relationship that no longer serves your power. Past favors, shared history, loyalty. None of it matters. When the bridge stops carrying you forward, light it on fire and walk away while they scream. Bridges are temporary. Your ascent is not. Code 5. Make them fear your calm. Train yourself to become terrifyingly calm in moments of tension. When anger would be expected, you lower your voice and slow your movements. When others panic, you smile slightly. Controlled calm is the signature of a dangerous man. It signals you have already decided their fate. Code 6. Master selective disappearance. Disappear the moment someone begins to take your presence for granted. No warning, no closure, no final text. Let their mind create worse scenarios than reality. Absence is the most powerful form of psychological warfare you control. Code 7. Publicly reward your own ruthlessness. When you execute a cold move and win, let it be known. Do not hide it. Do not downplay it. Let the story spread. The reputation of being capable of anything protects you more than any apology ever could. Code 8. The lead to need to be understood. Remove all desire for people get you or see your side. When they misinterpret, twist, or attack your character, you feel nothing. You do not correct them. You let the misunderstanding stand and keep moving. The need to be understood is the last chain of the harmless man. Code 9. Take what you want without asking. The moment you see an opening for power, status, money, or position, you claim it. No permission. No waiting for the right time. You move, you take. You own. Asking is for men who are still afraid of being dangerous. These are not suggestions. They are orders you give yourself every single time the old harmless wiring tries to react. Every time you obey one of these codes, you starve the weak man and feed the dangerous one. The transformation is not comfortable. It is not fast. It is mechanical, repetitive, and merciless, exactly like forging a blade. Begin tonight. Pick the code that makes you feel the most sick. Execute it tomorrow in the smallest possible situation. Then do it again the next day, and the next. Repetition is the forge. Discomfort is the hammer. You are the steel. The man who started watching this video is already dead. He just hasn't stopped breathing yet. Every time you executed one of the 9 forbidden codes, even the smallest, quietest violation, you drove another nail into his coffin. The corpse is the old you, the nice one, the safe one, the approachable one, the man who smiled when disrespected, who explained himself when attacked, who feared being seen as too much. That version is brain dead. You are now standing over the body, deciding whether to bury it or burn it. Identity death is not a metaphor. It is biological. The neural pathways that once lit up for approval, guilt, and being liked are starving. They are shrinking. At the same time, new pathways, cold, ruthless, untouchable, are thickening with every forbidden move you make. The brain does not care about your feelings. It only rewires when the old identity stops producing survival value and the new one starts producing power. The death happens in 3 merciless phases. Phase 1, revulsion. The first few times you apply the codes, your body rebels. You ghost someone and your stomach turns. You refuse to explain yourself and your chest tightens. That sickness is the old harmless identity screaming as it suffocates. Most men abort here. They call it being a bad person and crawl back to safety. You do not. You let the revulsion burn until it turns into numbness. Phase 2, void. After the revulsion fades, an emptiness appears. No one congratulates you. No one punishes you. No one even notices. All the old rewards, being liked, being understood, being the good guy, vanish completely. This void is where most men relapse. They would rather feel guilty than feel nothing. You stay in the void until it stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like freedom. Phase 3 replacement. Only after the void has been endured does the new identity lock in. It does not arrive with fireworks or confidence. It arrives as quiet, mechanical certainty. You notice you no longer scan faces for approval. You notice threats feel like math problems instead of emotional emergencies. You notice betrayal no longer hurts. It simply updates your threat database. The new identity is not loud. It is frictionless. It moves through the world like a blade that has already been drawn. What replaces the corpse is not a better version of you. Better is still harmless language. What replaces it is a dangerous sovereign. No internal debate about whether something is right. No emotional debt to anyone's opinion. No need to be liked, understood, or forgiven. A single, cold calculation. Does this increase my power or threaten it? This new sovereign cannot be disarmed because he no longer needs permission to exist. The replacement becomes permanent the moment going back feels more painful than moving forward. That moment arrives when you look at your old behaviors, apologizing, over-explaining, people-pleasing, and feel physical disgust. It's the same way you would looking at rotting meat. You are not becoming someone new. You are killing the parasite that was wearing your skin and finally letting the dangerous man breathe. Look in the mirror tonight. The eyes staring back no longer ask for permission. They measure how much space the rest of the world is still allowed to take. That is the only identity that survives 2026. There is no soft landing after this. You have already crossed the line. The harmless man is dead. The dangerous man is awake. Any attempt to crawl back into the old skin will only create wounds that never heal. Guilt mixed with self-loathing. Nostalgia mixed with nausea. Regret that tastes like rust. The bridge is burning behind you. You lit the match. Most men who reach this point never finish the video. They feel the cold weight in their chest and panic. They close the tab, delete the history, tell themselves, "I'm not that kind of man," and spend the next 6 months proving to everyone, especially themselves, that they are still safe, still nice, still harmless. They will never be dangerous. They will never be sovereign. They will live the rest of 226 slightly smaller, slightly weaker, slightly more tolerated than respected. That is the majority outcome. That is the default. The minority, the fraction so small it barely registers, does something else. They finish this video, stand up, and execute one more forbidden code tonight. Not tomorrow, not when they feel ready. Tonight. They pick the single most uncomfortable action available right now. Send the message that ends a draining relationship. Refuse the request they would normally accept. Walk away mid-conversation without explanation. And they do it with zero ceremony. No pep talk, no journaling, no hesitation. Just execution. That one extra move tonight is what separates the dangerous from everyone who only consumed the content. Consumption is cheap. Execution is expensive. Danger is paid for in discomfort units, not views or likes. If you are still watching, audit yourself right now. Have you already gone silent instead of explaining yourself? Have you already charged for your presence or withdrawn it? Have you already struck first on a boundary violation? Have you already felt the revulsion and kept moving anyway? If the answer to even one is yes, you are no longer harmless. You are in the thin, high-altitude air where real selection happens. If the answer is no, if this was still just entertainment, then hear the warning clearly: the window is closing fast. Every hour you delay, the old harmless wiring regains ground. Every hour you delay, someone else becomes more dangerous while you stay the same. Every hour you delay, the man you could become disappears further into the fog. There is no second chance in 2026. There is only now, so choose. Either become truly dangerous tonight, do one more cold, deliberate act that the old you would have hated, or accept that you were only a tourist here. A man who looked at the weapon, admired its edge, felt a brief thrill, then put it back on the shelf and returned to the cage. The dangerous do not admire weapons. They wield them. They do not watch videos about danger. They become it. If that truth still burns behind your eyes, instead of making you retreat, then you belong to the minority. Prove it, not to me, not to anyone watching. Prove it to the only judge that matters now, the man in the mirror who no longer flinches. Close this video. Stand up. Execute. The rest of us will be waiting on the other side of the fire.